So in today's video, we're hopefully going to be updating the interior of my E46 a little bit. We are going to be painting the wood trim the same paint coat as my car. So now we're going to go over some materials that you'll need for this process. So the first thing I have is the paint and the clear coat from automotivetouchup.com. It's a super easy process to go in and get your paint coat. So my car is actually dark blue even though it looks black, so that's the color we will be painting the trim. Next you'll need some filler primer. The wood trim of the BMWs tend to crack over the years. Because my trim is 18 years old, it has expanded and contracted over the years and cracked. Next, you will need some sandpaper. We've got some 400 grit for the initial primer application. You'll need some 1000 and or 2000 grit sandpaper to smooth out the primer before painting. And last, you will need some trim clips if your trim clips in your E46 are already broken. So the reason that I chose automotivetouchup.com is because we have some experience with it before. When we installed and painted Carson's E46 M3 front bumper on his car, we actually got his sapphire black from automotivetouchup.com and it looked great. So as for cracks, right here in this section is my worst part on my trim. This is the part that we will be focusing the most on while adding the filler primer. The rest of the trim we'll just kind of do a quick base coat just for the paint to stick to. Because I've removed this trim so many times, mine comes out really easy, but you may need a trim clip tool or maybe even a butter knife to get your trim out. Just be careful. So now that all the trim is out of the car, we're gonna start prepping for paint. The door trim clips don't tend to break as easily, but they do break, so just be aware of that. Now that all of the trim is primed, we're going to be taking some 1000 grit sandpaper and sanding it down a little bit and making it all smooth. We have decided to add another piece into the mix. This is the piece that has my trunk lights and my trunk button, and it goes over my license plate. On the nicer model of E46s, this is the same color of the car, so that's what we're going to be doing. So we've got all of the trim primed and sanded. You might have to experiment a little bit with what grit of sandpaper you use and to find what works best for you, but now we're gonna get all of it cleaned off and start painting. So all of the trim is cleaned and we've got the paint here. The paint code of my car is Orient Metallic Blue 317. So we're gonna start by painting the little piece that goes around the headlight switch, and if everything checks out with that piece, then we're gonna paint all of the trim. So the first coat is on and it's drying really quick, so we'll be starting the second coat here soon after we give it a little bit more time to dry. We did start with some tiny groups of fish eyes, but as we kept painting over, they went away. So because my paint coat is the metallic, this paint actually does have some sparkle to it. It matches really close to the actual paint on my car. Now it's time for coat number 2. So all of the trim is painted and it looks super good. I'm really excited to get it on the car. I think we're gonna start by installing this piece first, just because it's gonna be right next to the paint. All of this stuff will be inside and the paint is obviously outside of the car. So we're gonna install this one first and see how well it matches. after actually seeing it with the real paint of the car, I'm super excited to get the trim on. This is exactly what I was hoping for, I just didn't expect it to be this good. So definitely go to automotivetouchup.com if you want to get your paint code. It matches like spot on.